welcome and thank you for joining. Today we will talk about how to host OKR planning sessions. So a bit about myself. My name is Dmitro. I am from Ukraine, but live in Copenhagen the last 2.5 years. I'm owner of a small consulting company, Execute On. And right now I'm working in Novo Nordisk, a big pharma company. And yeah, I have a big experience with OKRs, IT, agile leadership, and I helped a bunch of companies with implementation of OKRs, not just trainings. You can see them, some of them is here. Yes, good. Okay. Yeah, we also have a digital product, OKR Accelerator. It's part of OKR Mentors community. I'm accredited trainer in OKR Mentors community. And also we do these webinars in collaboration with awesome Oboard company, the company that has Oboard software solution for OKR management, a standalone, and also for Jira, especially if you're looking for something to integrate with Jira. Awesome product. I haven't seen better, and I love to work with Oboard and always recommend it to all the clients. Yeah, enough about me. So what we are going to talk about, very briefly about OKRs before we go into planning session, to make sure that we are all understand the OKRs in the same way. And it might be that some of you are newbies to OKRs. So we will spend several minutes there. Then we will talk about preparation for the OKR planning session, what is important to do as part of preparation. Then we will talk how to conduct OKR planning session and what is important afterwards. And also I put some common challenges that I see during OKR planning session, so we will talk about them as well. And as I mentioned it, in case you have any questions, just raise your electronic hand. I might not see it in the chat. If you have a question, just raise the electronic hand and don't wait till the end, because we might not have time at the end because we have only 1 hour. So for the ones who are near the desktop, or it's handy to go to the mirror, I will share the link, and I would like to make a small check-in exercise where I would like to understand where our audience is in terms of OKR experience. So when you are in the mirror, then there is a scale from left to right, where 1 is I'm newbie to OKR, then put the empty plate. Then we are working with OKRs, but it's more twist than a pretzel has. Put it somewhere here, yeah, and you are very experienced with OKRs, and put it somewhere here, just to understand where we are. And I will share it in the chat, the link to the mirror board. If you cannot join, no worries. It's just for the ones who can join. So don't stress out if, oh, I'm from the phone, I'm on my bike, I cannot join, it's okay. The ones who can join, please go and yeah, assess. Okay, let's move on. So on the ones who are on the mirror, let's do a small exercise together, because some of you already know what are the OKRs, and you will help me to explain them. So let me bring everyone to me. Bring everyone to me. So we have, so OKR stands for objective and key results, but there is also the third part, initiatives. And I have 3 areas for each of the pillar of OKR, objective, key result, initiative. So the green area is what the question each of the pillars of OKR answers. And we have 3 stickers to the left. What are the key attributes of each of the pillar? And we have a yellow area, and we have yellow stickers here. And then we have one example of one OKR, orange at the bottom, where you need to move where you think this is, oh, this is probably objective, or maybe this key result, or maybe this initiative. So what I would like to ask you is just go and grab a sticker, for example, green one, and move it where you think it is, and then we will, yeah, see where it goes. So just grab any sticker that you see and move it. Okay, cool. So let's, yeah, and we have one more. So someone help me, this qualitative part. Where would you put it? This sticker. Someone, please help me to put it in the box. Okay, and let's look at it. You're right. So objective is answering the question, what do we want to accomplish? Yeah. Then the key results is how will we know we have achieved the objectives? And then initiative, what we will do to achieve the objective. So yeah, you're right. So these are the main questions that we answer on. Then the key attributes, you're right, the objective should be inspiring. We would like to work on it. What I'm missing here is qualitative. So objective is a qualitative in the sense that we shows the difference between objective and key result. That key result is quantitative and the objective is qualitative. So we don't need to put some quantitative measures in the objective. It's qualitative, become the best, be improve something, etc. So qualitative. And also what I'm missing is this one. So this is more for objective, aligned with the company's mission and strategy. So when you're working in the company with your team or your department, then the objective should be aligned with a bigger picture. For key results, yes, it's quantitative and measurable. This is a key attribute. Key results should be measurable. Yes, this is a part of the OKR framework. It can be a metric, it can be a baseline or a milestone. You're right. Initiative contains a solution. Yes, this is what we will do in order to drive the key results. And we believe when we achieve key results, we will achieve the objective. And yeah, it's actionable. It's something that we can do. Great. And then if you look at the example, yes, so this is the objective. Improve the quality of our chatbot service. Gives a direction. It's inspiring for us because we are working with our chatbot and it's qualitative. How will we know that we are improving it? One of the key results is reduce the average number of errors per conversation by 50%. So this is what we have brainstormed as a team and put. And then what exactly we will be doing? Yeah, we will implement a feedback mechanism. We will add a lot of other things, features, user stories, initiatives, projects in order to drive the key result. And when we drive key result, we hope we will achieve the objective. Great. So 5 minutes to explain what are the OKRs. Yes. And I think this is why they are so popular, because it's easy to understand them. At the same time, they have a good, clear structure. What we would like to achieve, how will we know, what are the measurable things, and what we will be doing. So I hope it makes sense for the ones who are new to the OKRs, but I have a few more slides just to show also examples of the OKRs. This is the same as you just did all together. So just to repeat, OKRs stands for objective and key results, but there is another third important part, which is initiatives. So objective is goals that inspire and set direction, and key indicators, key results are indicators that measure the progress, and then initiatives are actions to achieve the objective. Yeah, that is all about OKRs at a nutshell, but what is more difficult is usually when you implement them in the company context, how to onboard team, how to make changes, etc. What is a good OKRs, what is a bad, but this is another level. In a nutshell, this is what are OKRs. Let's look at some examples. You can use OKRs not only in your business context, you can also use in your private life and set goals for yourself. I'm using it and used before. This is not my objective, but this is just an example. So let's say you would like to get into shape after the holidays. Yeah. So you can use OKRs for outlining this goal. And then this is just setting a direction, which is important for you. But then how you will know that you're getting into shape. So if you're using OKR framework, then you need to put measurable, quantifiable, quantitative key results. And one of them, you can say, oh, I think if I reduce body fat by 5%, it would be awesome. I think I will be more in shape. Yeah. And now we have the smart weights that can show body fat and other things. And also the average resting heart rate decreased from 75 to 65 beats per minute. I think this is my hypothesis. If I achieve it, let's say in a quarter, then I think I will achieve my objective. And then after you define it, the key result, then you start to brainstorm, okay, what I need to do, what are the initiatives, what are the actions that I need to do in order to achieve them. And then you can decide on, oh, running every week, drinking more water, not coffee, and then bike not driving by car. Yeah. OKR should not have more than 4 key results. Yes, to have a focus. Also, key results, they should be more of outcomes, not outputs or inputs. We will talk about it later. And when you define them as outcomes, the value you would like to achieve, you don't need more than 4. Yes, it's usually if you put initiatives as a key result, then you will have a lot of them. But you should not put initiatives as a key results. For this, you have initiatives as a third part that are linked to your key results. And another example is more business example. Let's say we have some problem with employee engagement and we would like to put a goal and change it. If you don't have a problem, you don't need an OKR for this. So OKRs for driving change. And let's say, yeah, we would like to improve employee engagement. Then how will we know that we're improving it? And this is key results handy because they are measurable. And we say, okay, employees show high engagement as indicated by increase of eNPS. This is one of the metrics, employee net promoter score. Right now it's 30%, and we would like to increase it to 45%. So this is one of the indication, one of the hypotheses that if we achieve this key result, we will achieve our objective. And second key result is employees are more loyal as indicated by reduction in voluntary turnover rate from 15 to 10%. And then when you have this key results, and for this OKR, it might be enough to have only these two. Yes, you don't, less is more in OKRs. And then you brainstorm an initiative, and you may have a lot of different initiatives in order to drive the key results. You can conduct some workshops, resolve impediments, etc. Good. So this was a very fast recap on what are OKRs to make sure that the people that are the first time hear about them understand what we will talk about in the OKR planning session. Any questions before I jump into the OKR planning session? Nope. Looks good. Okay, so let's look at preparation part before OKR planning session. So based on my experience, I put some traps where you can go into OKR workshop with things, with assumptions that people understand what are OKRs, how to use them, etc. And then OKR planning session goes not in the right way. So before that, you need to make sure that your team, or if you are a consultant helping another team or another company, that they understand at least these 8 basic things. Not basic things, important things about OKRs. First, they need to understand why OKRs and what value they bring for this context, for this team. Yeah, why OKRs? Is it for focus? Is it for transparency? Is it to move to more outcome value-based measurement instead of just feature factory, creating features without understanding the value behind it? It's super important because as any change, it will be questioned. There will be resistance from team members. Why suddenly we need to think about these OKRs? Can we just work? And you will return to whys. So this is the first important thing, why OKRs? And it will be different for teams, but there are some patterns that you quite often will hear. It will be focus, it will be transparency, it will be customer centricity, it will be empowerment of the team members, it will be tracking, better tracking on where we are, etc. Yes, so this is the first thing, that they understand why they're doing OKRs. And if they do not, then help them to understand. Yeah, ask them these questions, let them think about it. What are the good and bad OKRs? So at least they understand difference between outcomes, outputs, inputs. At least they understand that initiatives and key results are different things. And we will look at it a bit about it later today. This is not the topic of the session, but we will look at the outcomes part. If there are bigger organizational contexts, you also need to understand it. For example, now I'm working in Novo Nordisk, and the OKRs, when we brainstormed in our project on OKRs for 2020, organizational context around it. For example, in Novo Nordisk, there are strategic OKRs, value drivers, and when we define it for our project, we need to link them to these value drivers. Yes, so you need also to understand what is an organizational context, how OKRs should be used. Maybe there is some guideline or expectations. OKRs is not a planning tool. So teams do not have illusion, product owner or stake. So it's not a planning tool. We are driving the big changes. Yes, we will not express everything what we need to work as in OKRs. This is to express the most important changes. OKRs is not a strategy. You need to have a strategic context. You need to have idea where you're heading as a department, as a company, and this will be an input for you to create OKRs. OKRs is not business as usual and not KPIs. KPIs are health metrics. OKRs about change. So this is also important for team members to understand that they don't think if it's operational team that they say, oh, but we do not see ourselves in OKR. Should we create OKR for our business as usual, keep the lights on thing? No, you don't need to create OKRs for this. This is the important things that you are doing and do it. OKRs are for change. If you need to change something, create OKR. If there is no need for change, but just to have operations as you do, good, then you don't need OKR. Yeah, this is what I said. OKRs is a way to describe the most important changes we would like to achieve, and less is more. You cannot have many most important changes. Then you don't have focus and you will achieve a bit of everything. Yeah, so my always recommendation to have no more than 3 OKRs on a team or department level. Less is more. So this is a mindset things that you need to make sure that there is an understanding in the room when you go to the planning session, especially if you go the first time into it. This is where I brought the example of the preparation letter, where of course it will be different from the context, but I wanted to bring some examples. So this is something that I sent to one of my clients, where I said that, okay, we will have only a couple of hours, so let's do some preparation. Yeah, we are talking about preparation for the planning. So first, think and align with your leader on the objectives, yeah, that are important to focus on the upcoming quarter. So then you can prepare it for the meeting. You already understand, okay, what are the most important changes we would like to drive. Then this team, they were servicing other teams. And then I asked them, okay, if possible, it would be great if you go to your stakeholders, the ones that you are servicing, and talk about how they will know we're achieving these objectives. What are the outcomes? So this will be a great input to your key result. Do it also as preparation. Yeah. Then you don't need to invite all stakeholders into OKR planning session. You can do it as now I have seen it from Frederick, but I don't think it's Frederick who is doing it. Then if there are already some initiatives, yeah, remember the third part that we can link to key results, then start linking them. Yeah, if you are working with other team members, also collaborate with them, align before the session. So we already preparing team members upfront. I think it was in 3 weeks before I sent this. Some heads up on what is important to have a productive, efficient OKR planning session. And the input that you need is if you have a strategy, if you have some disorganizational context like value drivers I mentioned in Novo Nordisk, then you need to bring it to the team, because OKRs is bridging the gap between strategy and tactics and activities. Yeah, so you need to understand this bigger context. You can also bring product roadmap. When we did recently for our product OKRs, yes, and we look at roadmap, okay, and then what are the changes, the biggest changes in the year we would like to make, and how we can quantify it. And also we looked at the quality of our product, so to what new delivery technical state we would like to bring it in a year. Yeah, so this is a context that you need to bring to the planning session. And the last important thing is, of course, be sharp on the goal of the session. Again, this is an example of where some of the invitation. So what is the goal? Yeah, and this was draft 2025 annual strategic OKRs. So this was the goal of the session. And then what are the desired outcomes? What we would like to get out of the session? Yeah, and then this session in this example was the first one for them. So we decided before we jump into defining OKRs, we decided to make sure that we align on what are the OKRs, what is the OKR cycle, the rhythm, yes, to track the OKRs. We'll talk a bit about it later. And then only then we went to draft a draft of the 2025 annual strategic OKRs. So be sharp. It's not related only to OKR planning sessions. It's related to any session. Yes, what is the goal and what are the desired outcomes? But when you plan your OKR planning session, do the same. Yeah, and of course, then you can put agenda, etc. Any questions to the preparation part? And in the chat, I see, will the Miro board be accessible? Yes, it will be open for you for almost infinity. Yeah, so it will be accessible, all the material. Yeah, what is the best cadence? Quarterly, yearly, etc. So usually on a company level or on higher you go, it will be on yearly basis. And then if you go on team level, the most common is quarterly basis. So this is quite often the cadence. And are key results designed per department, or does it aim to be solved by cross-department initiatives? Yeah, it of course context related. On what level you are defining key results. It can be this way in another. If let's say OKR is on, I don't know, group level, and then there are 3 different departments, then you might define OKR on group level, key results on group level, and then departments contributing with initiatives. I always saying that you should simplify. Don't have a lot of levels of OKRs. More you have, more bureaucracy you have, more process heavy it is, more hate from team members on this, etc. So try to make it as lean as possible. So, for example, you can make it on a group level and then let us departments, okay, how you contribute to this. Yes. Good. I took these questions and let's move on to from preparation. So another thing I wanted to talk about is, of course, sometimes it's online, sometimes it's offline, sometimes it's hybrid. So what to consider? So few things. If it's online, I recommend Miro or Mural. I don't know other alternatives of Miro or Mural. There is a Miro canvas that we will share afterwards that you can use. Yeah, I will share later. That will help to collaborate. Yeah, so I think Miro is the best collaborating tool, online collaborating tool right now. So utilize it. Miro online goes slower than offline. Yes, because you need to log in, go to breakout rooms, etc. Some questions with the digital issues, blah blah blah. So plan for a slower pace, and of course keep energy high. Yeah, and when you actually send people in breakout smaller rooms, it helps to keep energy high. So this webinar is not energy high. I'm on high energy trying to talk a lot, but yeah, you are just listening. When you're in a OKR, it should not be this way. In a OKR planning session, it should be work, the members should work. And it is hard to work when 20 people on the call. So breakout rooms in Zoom, Microsoft Teams, there is such functionality. If you go offline, I always do go analog. What it means, I have a posters, I put in them on the walls, I have stickers, etc. I do not use slides, maybe only to show strategy context, organizational context, because then the energy is much higher. It's easier to collaborate. The best collaboration you can have is face to face in front of the whiteboard. So utilize it if you're lucky to be offline all together during OKR planning session, and give space to think. It's more like physical space. Yeah, if you break out teams and make sure that they are not super close to each other, that they interfere and there is a lot of noise. So give them space to think, work in breakout rooms, and then space where they can share and align afterwards. Hybrid, avoid if possible. It's better to do them online. So if you have some team colleagues, let's say one team colleague in India, and you are all in Denmark, then you are like in the room, and one colleague is online. It's difficult, so then go all online. So avoid, I would recommend avoid hybrid. But if you cannot avoid, or if you think it's better, then remember about remoters. Yes, it's super easy to forget about them, especially when there are debates, etc. And use Miro Mural. Don't use analog some posters, etc. Because remoters will be then yeah, behind all of these super nice activities that you do in the room. And break up in smaller teams everywhere, online, offline, hybrid. And I will show you during the session how usually we do it. We always break out in smaller teams, unless it's already a small team and there is no way to break up. Good. Yeah, see some question. Let me finish this one and then we will look at it. And then there is a link to this Miro canvas. It's in Miro Universe that I have created some time ago. It has a simple guide that can guide you through the defining OKRs. Yes, it reminds what are the OKRs. It gives you some examples that you can be inspired to look at. Then it have a room for objective, where what is the objective and what are the good characteristics of the objective, what is the time horizon, who will be driver of this or accountable for this objective, and this is where you put it. And then after that, you go into 4 key results. Yes, some specifics, good specifics, attributes of the good key results, supportive questions, or that help team to understand the key results, and then space to put them. What is the measure? Is it hours, number, I don't know, percentage, etc. Who will drive this key result? And then the last one is initiatives. Yeah, so a very simple board with some reminders that can help you and your team members. So you can use these canvas, but there are hundreds of different canvas you can explore and maybe find, not maybe, for sure find better than this one. Yeah, but this one is good enough. Good. So this was about online offline, and then let me look at Roy's comment or question. I have a client that wants to build OKRs for a 3-year plan. I have my own option approach, but I would love to hear your pros and cons about the duration. Yeah, to build for 3 years plan. As I mentioned it, OKRs is not a planning tool. So if they would like to highlight the most important changes they would like to achieve in 3 years, they can do it. I worked with some clients where we helped to express their vision in OKRs, and it was like for 5, 8 years ahead, and it was one OKR. Yeah, but it was not the planning. It was not describing all the plan. No, it was the most significant changes we would like to achieve, and that's it. So if your client would like to express it in measurable terms, then why not? And then underneath you can link, then you should have some more short-term OKRs that are contributing to this one, either on quarterly basis or yearly basis, because otherwise the drawback, you will not have a short feedback cycle on how you're progressing with these key results that are for 3 years. Yeah. So yeah, this is what I would say. So build the plan from the OKRs, not that OKRs I plan. Plan from the OKRs. Yeah, if as I mentioned it, you can create the OKRs for 3 years to make it sure to express what is the most significant changes we would like to achieve in 3 years. It's great. And then based on it, yeah, then they can make a plan. Okay, these are the most important changes. This is how we will measure. This is our key results. So what is the plan of achieving it? Yeah, then it makes sense in my mind. Yeah, share the link to the, and this is a direct message from Margot. Could you please share one more time to all link to the Miro board? I got some direct message. Cool, Roy. Let me know if it answers or not. Otherwise, you can by voice share more context. It's good, I suppose. If you're saying anything, then yeah. Okay, good. Let's move on. So let's talk about planning itself. So you should distinguish between two things. First time for a team or someone OKR planning, and the second, iterative. Yes, they already did it before. So let's talk about first time. And I already started to talk about it earlier in preparation. So if you're doing first time, remember to make sure that they understand what are the OKRs, they have the right mindset about it. And if there is a need to establish common understanding of what are the OKRs and what are they not, then you need to build it in your OKR planning session and maybe to have a workshop longer, like half a day. Again, the same example. Yes, so this is where it was the first time a proper OKR planning session for a team. So it was a leadership team. Then we aligned first on what are the OKRs and what they are not. We aligned on how we are going to track them, so-called OKR cycle. So one thing is to define OKRs, but it's not enough if you are not tracking the progress on them. Yes, set and forget is not a good strategy for goal setting. So then we also discussed, okay, how we are going to track them. Yes, how frequent, is it quarterly, is it yearly, how often we will meet, every second week, on what meetings, what we will look at, what tool we will use. So if it's the first time, you also need to make these ground rules on how we are going to approach this goal setting. And then next is, yeah, of course, then you go into planning and drafting OKRs. So this is when you are first time. Remember to make sure that you just not jump into OKRs, but have everything that what we talked before. And when you are not doing it the first time, but when you are doing it already the second, third, or another time, then we remember that before OKR planning session, we should have a reflection and reset of the OKRs. So what is that? It means that we need to review the scoring of previous OKRs. Have we achieved them or not, or where we are? Ideally, you have retrospective where you talk about, does it make sense how we use OKRs? Should we change the approach? Should we track them more frequently, etc.? Yeah. And then after you did this, then you go into OKR planning session, because you need to close the loop. What you have planned, let's say quarter ago, you need to close the loop. You need to review, to grade, to make a final grading, discuss, does it make sense how we work with OKR? Should we change the way? And then based on that, you go into the planning. And some of the OKRs that you haven't finished, they will drag into, most likely into the planning session. So remember to close the feedback loop. And yeah, and when you go into this reuse, not the first time, but the repetitive OKRs planning session, then most likely we'll keep some of the objectives, if not all, because quite often objective will be something really more significant change that you need several cycles to achieve. For example, yeah, again, improve chatbot, this example that we have. Yeah, you might not be able to improve it in a quarter. Or you have improved it, but still you would like to carry on. Or you would like to improve employee engagement. Yes, you have improved something, but you still carry on. So objective quite often, and it's okay, that they stay over several cycles. And for these objectives that stay, if you found great key results, and great key results are outcome-based, we will talk about this, then most likely key results will stay the same. You just will change the numbers. So let's say if in our examples on improving employee engagement, one of the key results was improve ENPS metric, employee net promoter score, from 30 to 45, and you have improved it to 35 only by 5%, then most likely you will carry on, if this objective is topical, carry on the same key result, you will just adjust the numbers. And it makes OKR planning sessions so then smooth and easy, because you found the right outcome-based key results, the ones that are describing the value for these objectives. And yeah, and now I would like to make a small exercise together with you. So again, let me bring everyone to me, the ones who are on the mirror. So I have two examples. This is where we will talk about outcomes, output, and input, key results. So one example, let's say we are a sales team and we have objective in increase sales. Very clear objective. We have a problem with sales. This is super important for us. Objective, increase sales. And then we have 3 key results here. So drag and drop stickers, if you where you think some of them is input, like an initiative, you do some input, then you get some output, which doesn't guarantee the value, and outcome is actually the value. Yeah, it's I love the definition of outcome as change in customer behavior that brings business results. Yeah, and good. Thank you. Yeah, I agree. This is how I also envision it in this example. And so input is number of calls made. It's a bad key result. You should not have it because you may have 1,000 calls made, but still you didn't increase the sales. So this is example of the initiative. Yes, this is what you will do, but it's not a key result. Then number of calls back from customer. So this is the output. You did some calls made and you did them in a good quality, so they were interested, so they call you back. So this is not also a very good key result because it also do not guarantee you sales. Yes, so you should also avoid it. But sometimes I say if it's a significant output, sometimes I say it's okay, you can use it. Yeah, but it should not be all key results of output. It's okay that one of your key results is output, but what should you have your key results? Yes, ideally all of them is outcome, because this is then saying that you actually, it's a good hypothesis that this key result will help you to achieve objective. Yeah, and in this case, it's number of signed clients. Good. And let's do the same with the second example. So we have a development team and they have problem with performance of the application. So they say to us, the super important objective is improve performance. This is the most important. Yeah. So good. Yeah. And then I have one left, so I will move it here. Yes. And this is also how I see it. Cool. So input is completed to 100 hours of code optimization refactoring. Yeah, you may complete 2 million hours of code optimization, but still it may not bring value or maybe even harm. So yeah, this is some initiatives that you can do, but it's not a good key result. The same with reduce the application load time by 2 seconds. We don't know the context for this, but yeah, it might not be that 2 seconds is enough. It might not be that it's load time. It might be something else. So again, this is more output. But the outcome, the change in the customer behavior, is when we see that actually there are less reported performance issues. Yeah, then we definitely know, oh, this is a good hypothesis that we are much better. Yeah, so good. So I wanted to show you briefly the difference between input, output, outcome. Input is your initiatives. It's not a key result. Output, avoid them as a key result. You should strive for outcomes. As soon as you found outcome key result, and if objective stays the same, most likely you will use the same outcome key result. It makes OKR planning session much faster. You just change the numbers. You change baseline and you put aspiration towards you would like to change from X to Y. Good. Any questions so far before we jump into a bit of flow of OKR planning session? And let me see if any in the, nope, here, nope there. Okay, good. Let's jump into this one. So how to facilitate it well, the OKR planning session. This is not, so this is a standard facilitation diamond, yes. It's not only for OKR, but whenever if you are as a facilitator, yes, facilitating the session, you always should remember in most cases where brainstorm is required, this is what is used in facilitation, yeah, in facilitation diamond. So we start with the goal, yeah, like clarify goal and expected outcomes. This is what I said in preparation. Make sure that it's clear what we would like to achieve and what are the expected outcomes by the end of the session. Then we go into diverge zone where we open for different ideas. And this is, if you look at OKR planning session, this is where I open for objectives and directions. What are the most significant changes? Yes. to start from this. Okay, guys, what are the most significant changes you're talking? What are the directions? And I'm striving no more than 3. Less is more here. No more than 3. Yes, because this is when you will have focus, and this will be a good chance that you will achieve some of it. So yeah, in Diverge Zone, we define, okay, this is our up to 3 most important directions. We align with it. If we did it before the session, great, then we are faster, yes. And then we go into this discomfort zone. This is where we brainstorm on different ideas. And of course, it's discomfort because different opinions. This you as a facilitator should help. But usually here on a OKR plan session, I do it in breakout rooms. Yes, if it's online, if it's physical, in different small groups. This is where engagement is high. If you have 3 directions, I break into 3 groups. I ask team members what makes sense, who you may think makes sense to join which group. We will not work in one group. We need to split to actually make it faster in parallel, but also to have it more engaged. When smaller team members working, it's together, it's easier to everybody to talk and not 3 people talking, 17 listening. So working in groups on key results for these objectives. Yes, so this is where they're working on what are the key results. And after that, then we are converging. Then this is where we meet, and each group is presenting and aligning, receiving feedback, etc. And that's it, what I do for OKR planning session. I do not go into initiatives. So for OKR planning session, what is important is define objectives and key results. And there might be some homework still needed. Oh, this key result should have a better wording, but then you agree, okay, yeah, you have 3 more days to decide on the better wording. Oh, this key result is great, but we don't know how to measure. Okay, great, you have 2 weeks to figure out how to measure it. Yes, and if you can have a data-based approach, awesome. If not, then maybe just use survey. We will also talk about it. And that's it. This is like the structure of a OKR planning session. Yeah. What is the goal and what we would like to achieve? Then what are the up to 3 most important directions? So these are objectives. Working in groups on key results, and then share key results, align, and decide on the next steps. Yeah. And then I also have this is a PDF that you can, if you would like to export. I also have this very simple guideline that I always bring to teams during OKR planning session. So first is creating your objective, yeah, and it has some nice information that can help to think about objective. Like, oh, think about the strategy, what is the most important obstacle, and then you can, by identifying biggest obstacle, you can turn it ups and down into positive statements. So this is some guideline that you can use to help team with defining the objective. Check your objective with good qualities, and of course, don't be mad and strict about it. It's more guideline, yes. And then when we have this objective formulated, then we are talking about creating new key results. I'm a big fan of who does what by how much. This is just the way on how you can express key results. If you do in this format, then you will most likely have a customer there, and your key results should be customer centric. And if you have customer, most likely they will be about changing behavior. And if you will have most likely about changing behavior, most likely there will be outcomes. So I like this approach. There is a separate book on this. If you would like, you can read it. It's the same name, Who Does What by How Much, written by Jeff. I don't remember surname. I'm bad with surnames. Yeah. And then also some qualities. So you can just print it out if it's not online and give to everybody and say, this is a guideline, don't be mad with it. Yes, but this is to support you, and it will help. Yeah, respect where the team is. If it's the first time, we know that it will take time, and yeah, and just say it from the very beginning to them. It will eliminate frustration. Even OKRs are simple, but it takes time to understand how to formulate the good ones to find the good outcomes. So it's as with any, it's not only OKR learning curve, it's any learning curve, yes. But more we try do it, more we practice, better we are becoming. And as I said, we also started reusing some of the OKRs, some of the objectives that are still relevant, some of the key results, and then it's becoming much more easier. This is also a bit of cheat sheet that you can use if you would like, where I quite often bring it either online or printed, the characteristics and questions that may help you. This is what we have in Miro template that I showed. If you do it online, it's already incorporated in this OKR canvas. That also can help you during team members during the planning. And the last is what happens after planning. Yeah. So add your OKRs to the tracking tool, whether it's Excel, whether it's Oboard, whether it's Azure DevOps, whatever you use, to make sure that they are in somewhere and not on the stickers. You can also use Miro, but I recommend to use the tool where your work items are, so you can link them. For example, Oboard and Jira, you can easily link. Yes, if you're working Azure DevOps, you can create OKRs in Azure DevOps and link your initiative there. Finalize key result target. Don't be super strict. Sometimes teams can find a really great outcome key result, but they don't know if they can measure it. Cool, guys, super. You have some time to figure out how to measure it. So they can, and also they can also think, okay, we need to check the baseline. Is it 50 now or 60%? So this is something that they need to do, and then you follow up on the next OKR check-in, which you should schedule like on a regular basis. Share OKRs to the stakeholders, to other teams who is relevant, yes. And then set up rituals. This is about rhythm, where you have the most popular is every bi-weekly, where you look at your OKRs, how we are doing with them. My recommendation not to create a new meeting, incorporate into the existing one, because if it's about the most important changes, you should talk about on some of the existing meetings about them. Is it planning, if you're in Scrum, or is it review, or if you are not in Scrum, then yeah, any other meetings that you have some bi-weekly touch point. And then start linking initiatives to key results. And that is why it's better to have OKRs in the tool where your work items are. Good. Any questions?
Yeah,
it's a lot of,
there is a discussion in here. So there was a question about the timing. So when ideally the team should start planning the next cycle OKR? Because like if you wait after the review and retro, sometimes the plan eats a lot of the quarter. So would you share some of the recommendations and experience?
So my recommendation 3 weeks if you have quarterly. So you start 3 weeks before. Already you know what will be finished, what not, even without final grades. So start thinking what are the objectives we will keep, what new will come, align with stakeholders. So if you have quarterly cycle, I would say 3 weeks. If you have a yearly cycle, let's say you're part of leadership team and you're set up on yearly, then it's 1.5 months before you start looking into it. So this would be my recommendation.
So maybe anyone else in the audience would like to share how you approach your OKR cycles, because a lot of people said that they are already practicing OKRs. So maybe any tips here, because we've got a heated discussion in the chat.
Yeah, I would love to hear others' story, but we have 5 minutes. I am hate to make it late for other people. If we say 5, then I would like to finish at 5. But let me finish. We have few more slides, and we have few more minutes maybe for Q&A if we are, okay. And you can share in chat. Sorry just would like to be in time. Yeah. And then there are a few common challenges on the planning during the planning that I listed. Yeah, I asked Igor also to list, and he listed plus 20, and I said, okay, we don't have time for this, so I just leave this for. Challenge during OKR plan to have good outcome key result, but hard to measure because it's usually hard to measure them, or average key result output, but easy to measure. Yeah, so this is something that you will incorporate during planning session. My recommendation, go with the outcome. It's hard to measure, but find the way, because then it would be actually representing the value. So I would say go with this one. Discuss initiatives during OKR planning session. Yeah, so objective key results initiatives, or after. and I already said it. Usually you don't have time to discuss initiatives. But what I say during the planning session is that, guys, when you discuss key results, some of these key results is just initiatives. Log them, yeah, put them already somewhere. Because when they will discuss key result, then they will come up with a lot of actions, initiatives. And then I say, okay, guys, just log them and remember about them. Outline only what we change or other important metrics. Yeah, I think I told it many times. OKRs about changes. Yes, the most important changes. If someone says, oh, but it's also important to measure net promoter score of our end users, great. But do we have a significant change of improving our user satisfaction? No. Okay, then yeah, we have it as a KPI somewhere. We will monitor it, etc. But we don't need to put it into the OKRs. Having too many OKRs or too few or overly vague OKRs. So yeah, also describe it less is more. So too few OKRs, no more than 3. My always recommendation. Good, and we have 2 minutes left. I would really love the ones who are in the mirror to provide some feedback. It also will help you. What are your takeaways? What you like or dislike? We are trying to make these webinars every month for free. You can also put in the chat if you're not in the mirror. So I will bring everyone here. And then also on a scale from 1 to 5, just put the feedback here. And I will move away so you can be honest. And while people are adding feedback, someone is adding, we have 1 minute for a question or comment, anything. So the mirror board will be yours, open. You can take whatever you want from here and use it, still with Sprite. And it's 5 o'clock Central Europe time. I don't want to take more of your time. Thank you very much for being with us. Have a great day ahead. Yeah, and see you on our next webinars.
Thank you, Dmitry.
Bye-bye.